Yeah, proposal of marriage. Speaking of which, I mean, you
Yes.
have you've tried marriage once or twice.
Well, I'm going to get it right sooner or later.
How many times?
Well, I have been married 3 times,
Yeah.
and
But-
I'm not married now, though.
But no problem, it seems, because you've always, what I've read about you, you've always felt that your wives were good housekeepers.
Yes, that's true. Usually they always got the house, as a matter of fact. They kept it. You know. But in my last marriage, what really happened, my wife came to me and she said that she was seeing a psychiatrist, and then about 2 weeks later I found out she was also seeing 2 parking lot attendants, a short order cook, and a pastry chef. So that was the end of that.
Yeah. I've been reading your autobiography, The Naked Truth, and
Yes.
I didn't realize that you'd been married to Michelle Pfeiffer at one point in your life.
Yes, well, everything in that autobiography is true except for the facts. What I did, I married Michelle. Now, Michelle was, what a ravishing, beautiful woman, totally devoted. Spent all her, she was like, she was at my side all the time. And that can be overpowering, especially when you do my kind of work. And I talked with Carpenter, the director, and I convinced him to give her a part, and I gave a part to her. And, she was reluctant to leave my side, but she began to work and found out how much she really enjoyed the acting, and it just got to her. Next thing I know, she's working more and more, and all of a sudden, she discovered what she really wanted to do, and that really did not include me, so she left.
So your marriage was on the rocks?
It was on the rocks, but she had it annulled, and to this very day, she doesn't even talk about the fact that we were married.
Yeah.
Are you believing me?
But what about Elizabeth Taylor? Someone, shall we say, closer to your own vintage? You had an affair with
Well,
Liz?
no affair at all, no. What happened was that they had me playing a kind of rebel when I was under contract at Columbia. And a rebel, they decided, the publicity department, that I would turn down a lot of parts. I just turned down the movies. For example, one of the most prestigious movies that I was not in was Cane Mutiny. Right. And 2 of the really fine actors that I never got to work with were Humphrey Bogart and Jose Ferrer. And people today, though, tell me that they're positive that had I been in that movie, that I would have gotten the Academy Award. Now,
Yeah.
It's really true what they said, because I did not get the Academy Award, so that's a proof of it, isn't it true?
It does make sense.
Yeah. But to break me out of this mold of being this kind of rebel, they thought they should get me involved with a woman. And I said, well, who, what? And the PR man said, well, we'll concentrate on Elizabeth Taylor. Well, can you imagine that? Elizabeth Taylor, oh, really? And, oh, yeah, fine. He says, no. He says, you'll never meet her. We'll just do this all by telephone. And that's what happened. We became sort of telephone buddies. And
you had an affair over the
telephone.
Right. AT&T.
Yeah, and eventually they decided it was getting too serious. And so what they had to do was break it off.
What did they do, cut off your phone?
Well, no, I wish. But they broke it up much differently. They started to have exchanges. I had to make remarks that would, be insulting or semi-insulting so that we could have this breakup. And then I started to get death threat letters, from people who loved Elizabeth and didn't like what I was doing, which I wasn't doing to Elizabeth. Anyway, I convinced them that they should really have her turn her attentions to, I worked with Debbie Reynolds, you understand. Yeah. I knew Eddie Fisher, and that he was a friend. I thought maybe if, to get her away so I could break out of this and, not have these threats any longer, that perhaps if they could do something between her and Eddie Fisher who'd understand.
And they married.
That's history.
And that's it. And you were responsible for this.
Yeah, I was responsible for that too.
Yeah. You've achieved stability though in your life now.
It's Bowlegs does that. You do sway a little bit, As you're running is good. It's very, very hard when you're bow-legged. If you run very quickly, you look like an egg beater. They are well. So.
Yeah, because you do a bit of running in this movie. It has to be.
Oh, I run all the time. I don't stop. Yeah. I got up and I would work out to be in shape to do this movie. The other ones too, but when we finally got to the Academy Award sequence and doing the production number and that dance stuff, and
it is hilarious.
I mean,
it lasts about 12 minutes, I'm sure, of the whole movie, and it's a hoot. It's right. But I was thinking more in your personal life. L-O-M-L. Lummel.
Oh yes, Lummel. You don't mind if I get lapsed into you. I love being here, and I love the Irish dialect. And I do it poorly, but you don't mind if I do it.
No, off you go.
Well, thank you. Very good. Yeah, Lummel. I go with a beautiful lady. Her name is Barbara Ree. We have nothing but fun together. And Lummel is our reference number.
What does it mean? L-O-M-L. Anyone get it? Someone has it. Love of my life.
That is true, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, she has got good names for you too. What does she call you?
Snookie Lumps.
Snookie Lumps. And what else?
Lover buns. And any number. No, I called Priscilla in the first Naked Gun. I called her Snookie Lumps. When I'm breaking up with her, when I think that she's double-crossed me, and this guy was trying to kill me in the slaughterhouse, and I pat her on the cheek and I said, Snookie Lumps, too bad. We could have been something together. And then I walk away and I turn around and say, by the way, I faked all the orgasms.